Kaisa coming up. President Professor Peter Mutharika and the First Lady Professor Gertrude Mutharika are back in the country following a private visit they undertook to South Africa. Former MBC Director General set to appear in court today for allegations of financial mismanagement, among others. And in sports, Southern Region Football Association unveils 100 million kwacha Finca sponsorship. And now the news in detail. President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika and the First Lady Professor Gertrude Mutharika are back in the country following a private visit they undertook to South Africa. Our reporter Mwaintu Modzi with the details in this report.
At exactly 10 minutes after 5 on Thursday afternoon, the plane carrying President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika touched down at Kamuzu International Airport in Lilongwe. Upon arrival, the Malawi leader, who was accompanied by the First Lady Professor Gertrude Mutharika, was welcomed by the Chief Secretary to Government, Justin Saidi. He then inspected a guard of honor mounted by the Malawi Defense Force. President Mutharika left for the Republic of South Africa on 1st March 2025 for a private visit. Mwaintu Modzi, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Vice President Dr. Jane Ansah has stressed the need to respect the rights of persons with disabilities as a key step towards their economic empowerment. She made the call at Bwemba Baptist Ground in Lilongwe during the distribution of assorted items under the Jane Ansah Foundation. Charles Wahara reports.
During the ceremony, Dr. Ansah emphasized that human suffering should be alleviated through interventions, like what her foundation is currently pursuing across the country. She further added that it is for this reason that the Dr. Jane Ansah Foundation exists, to ensure that persons with albinism and disabilities have their rights respected and are economically empowered.
What I want to see is the realization of the right to development, the right to engage in economic activity. These rights are in Section 29 and 30 of the Constitution, where everyone has got a right to engage in economic activity and everyone has got the right to development. The right to development is not about handouts. The right to development is about creating an inducive environment where everybody on an equal basis will access development. And equal basis, within it, there's a reverse discrimination.
Through the Dr. Jane Ansah Foundation, the first Vice President has donated maize flour, bicycles, clothes and sunscreen lotion to persons with albinism. Charles Wahara, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Minister of Natural Resources and Environment, Patricia Wiskes, has appealed for support for underprivileged people living in urban and semi-urban areas. She made the appeal at Nyasa Ground in Area 49 Lilongwe, where Beautify Malawi Beam Trust was distributing relief items to vulnerable people. Details in this report.
Wiskes, who is also a Member of Parliament for Lilongwe City and Nkaka constituency, held the support from Beautify Malawi Trust, saying it has targeted the ultra-poor in urban areas, a group often overlooked by relief programs. She noted that many people in towns live in poverty, largely due to unemployment.
It's really a timely intervention, as currently my constituency is experiencing a lot of hunger in the community. It is a constituency that is semi-urban. However, there is a big population within the constituency that are not working and do not have proper businesses or establishments. So these are people that are staying in town, but they are suffering. They are staying in people's unfinished houses, and this help today that has come with a 20 kg bag of flour, soya pieces and salt has actually come at a very good time when these people are actually struggling.
In her remarks, Beam Trust representative Fanny Kajale said the trust remains committed to assisting people affected by hunger and other various disasters across the country.
We have been sent by Her Excellency Professor Gertrude Mutharika, the First Lady of the Republic of Malawi. In Beautify Malawi, she is our patron, and having received several gifts from well-wishers, she is donating these items, which is maize flour, soya pieces and salt, to different communities. And today she saw it fit that we share with Area 49 Nankaka constituency, knowing that this is a season where we have famine and there are people who are needy. That's why we are here.
Joyce Mutharika from Area 49 Dubai expressed gratitude for the assistance from BEAM. A total of 500 people received the donation, which included maize flour, soya pieces and salt. Mwai Mtumodzi, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Minister of Information and Communications Technology, Shadrack Namalomba, says digitalization has the potential to drive Malawi's economic growth if fully implemented across key sectors. Namalomba said this in Lilongwe after Naito Yasushi, Japan's ambassador to Malawi, paid a courtesy call on him. The two discussed strengthening collaboration to advance the country's digitalization agenda. Smart Shalika reports.
Speaking after the meeting, Namalomba urged the Japanese government to continue supporting Malawi's digitalization efforts, noting that the modern technology is crucial for improving service delivery and promoting economic development. He added that the Democratic Progressive Party DPP government, under the leadership of Professor Thapita Mutharika, is committed to ensuring that Malawi adopts digital systems across various sectors to help address some of the country's current challenges.
When they came, we talked around that and appreciated this support, but also had the opportunity of relaying the vision of His Excellency Professor Thapita Mutharika in the area of digitalization. As you are aware that we have been directed that in government we should embrace digital reforms in the service delivery. So I pitched to the ambassador, His Excellency, the idea of taking on board digital reforms.
In his remarks, Yasuch said the Japanese government remains committed to supporting Malawi's development and will continue working with the government to promote digitalization and economic growth.
On the future challenges, current challenges and future challenges of Malawi, we would like to enhance our collaboration. Precisely in the area of Minister's portfolio, information of training exchanges, and also we stress the importance of digitalization.
The meeting is expected to strengthen cooperation between Malawi and Japan, particularly in digital technology, which the government says is key to the country's economic transformation. Smart Charika, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Government says strengthening collaboration in the maritime sector is key to reducing trade costs and improving Malawi's competitiveness on the global market. Minister of Local Government Ben Piri, who represented the Minister of Transport, said this when he opened a maritime sensitization workshop in Lilongwe. Miriam Kaliza reports.
Stakeholders in the transport and trade sectors have gathered in Lilongwe for a sensitization workshop aimed at promoting best practices in shipping and international trade. Government says collaboration in the maritime sector is critical to improving trade efficiency and lowering the cost of doing business. Speaking during the meeting, Minister of Local Government Ben Piri said Malawi is exploring ways of reducing transport costs, which currently account for over 40% of the cost of goods moving in and out of the country.
It is very important for us to find ways of mitigating that fact. Among others, the best would be to open up our seas, our water system. Otherwise, we have a situation that we can't compete globally, because whatever we want to export, with that 40% that is added to our product, you will not find any buyer. No buyer wants to buy at an exorbitant price because of budget constraints and others. And as Malawi government, we're doing all we can. As you heard from the speech from the PS, they are opening up the lake services. All that is to facilitate trade and make sure that we reduce our transport costs. But of course, there will be a bit of it on hinterland that after you've done whether air or water, you will have to take it on the road. But if you reduce that particular cost, you will be reducing our cost on our products probably by 35% or thereabouts, which now will help us to compete at a global level.
Secretary General of the Maritime Organization for Eastern, Southern and Northern Africa, Kasim Mpata, said Malawi's membership in the regional body will help align national policies with international shipping standards. Mpata noted that about 90% of global trade is transported by sea, yet African countries have limited participation in the shipping industry.
Originally, we have not paid enough attention to issues of maritime. We have concentrated on other modes of transport with the belief that maritime may be for coastal countries, for countries which have vessels and all that. But right now, in this era, we are beginning to see a revived commitment by regional states. 90% of our trade is transported by sea. And therefore, in as long as we do recognize that our trade mainly comes by vessels which don't mainly belong to us, we need to pay attention to issues of maritime. And by going into matters interests of maritime, we are trying to understand how the cost of transportation of our goods from overseas is concerned. We must interrogate the policies under which our cargo is transported. We must also understand whether we have got enough participation. But also, we need to have a conversation which promotes our participation in the transportation of our trade, because 100% of this maritime trade we are talking about is basically transported by foreign carriers, which doesn't give us the leverage and the capacity to understand how this affects us in terms of cost of doing business.
Cross-border traders have welcomed the development, saying improved maritime systems will ease the movement of goods. Tabitha Kapengule is one of the cross-border traders.
It's important to us cross-border traders because it will facilitate our trade. By importing and exporting, we are looking forward to them helping us in all those transactions that we do. We import clothes, we import medicines, we import a lot of merchandise from South Africa, Tanzania, Kenya, China. And we also export agricultural products, leather, and so on. So we are looking forward really to this workshop. It will help us a lot.
Malawi recently joined the Maritime Organization for Eastern, Southern, and Northern Africa as part of efforts to strengthen regional cooperation in maritime transport and trade logistics. Miriam Kaliza, NBC News, Lilongwe.
Former Malawi Broadcasting Corporation MBC Director General George Kasakula and former Director of Finance Jack Kamwajale are expected to appear in court today following their arrest on Wednesday. Speaking to MBC, National Police spokesperson Lyle Chimtembo confirmed that the two were arrested on allegations of financial mismanagement, among others. Chimtembo speaks to Geoffrey Jinawa.
So I can confirm that the Malawi Police Service arrested George Damasekani Kasakula, former Director General of MBC, and Mr. Jack Kamwajale, former Director of Finance at MBC.
What charges are these men facing?
They are facing abuse of office. The two are alleged to have been involved in financial mismanagement of the corporation's account, including the unauthorized airing of advertisements without payment. And it is further alleged that they attempted to delete or manipulate records to conceal their actions. And our investigations have also revealed systematic failures in internal controls at the corporation.
This far, what is the progress of the case?
Caution statements are being recorded today, and they will be taken to court tomorrow.
This is NBC News. A reminder of our top stories. President Professor Peter Mutharika and the First Lady Professor Gertrude Mutharika are back in the country following a private visit they undertook to South Africa. Former MBC Director General set to appear in court today for allegations of financial mismanagement, among others. And in sports, Southern Region Football Association unveils 100 million kwacha Finca sponsorship. Welcome back. Service delivery is expected to improve at Njirande Police Station in Blantyre following the construction of a waiting shelter for people who come to seek services at the station. International Blantyre Cancer Center, IBCC, has constructed the structure at a cost of 70 million kwacha, and it includes the renovation of police station by painting, among others. Simeon Boyce reports.
IBCC General Manager Michael Morowa handing over the newly constructed waiting shelter at Njirande Police Station in Blantyre to Commissioner of Police for Southwest Region Ravmo Mwabumba. In his remarks during this ceremony, Murowa says the initiative is part of corporate social responsibility.
Genesis of what we are seeing here as the Guardian Shelter for Nkhani Police Station started way back last year when our founder and philanthropist, Dr. Thompson Penganjira, was in contact with the OC, Officer in Charge for Nkhani Police, just to get an understanding of what are the needs, critical needs for the people of this community, but also for the police station. So that's where the conversation started, and he mentioned several things that he needed, mostly focusing on the Guardian Shelter. The previous Guardian Shelter was very small, was not conducive for the people who come to visit or take care of people who are being seen at the police station. And also they mentioned things of how their offices are looking. There were no towels, and also their walls were not looking good. So they requested that maybe we could help them with constructing a structure that could be housing the community when they come to visit their relatives.
Commissioner of Police for Southwest Region, Ravmo Mabumba, said the initiative demonstrates how partnerships between private institutions and law enforcement can help create a safer environment for communities.
And it serves a large population, and many people come to the police to seek various police services, and when they come here, they really need to find a place where they can wait for the police officers to give them the required service. In the past, we had a very small shelter where people could not comfortably sit to wait for the police service. But today, we have a place where the members of the community who come to seek police service will find a shelter that is smart and comfortable, that is weather friendly, and thereafter they can be given the right service by the police.
IBCC is a private specialized cancer care facility owned by Thompson and Barbara Mpinganjila Foundation. Simeon Boyce, NBC News, Blantyre.
Ruling Democratic Progressive Party senior member Simon Vuakaunda has urged people of Rumphi Central constituency to vote for the party's parliamentary aspirant Walita Moyo Mkandawire in the forthcoming by-elections. Kaunda, who is also member of parliament for Nkata Bay, made the call during a campaign rally in Rumphi, saying electing Mkandawire will ensure continued and sustainable development in the area. George Mkandawire has the details in this report.
Addressing a rally in Rumphi, Simon Vuakaunda said the Democratic Progressive Party DPP has a proven track record of delivering developmental projects across the country, adding that the party remains committed to improving the livelihoods of Malawians. Kaunda therefore appealed to voters in the constituency to turn out in large numbers on polling day and give Mkandawire the mandate to represent them in Parliament.
The DPP is promising construction and grading of roads. The DPP is promising the construction of school blocks and teacher houses. The DPP is promising free primary and secondary education. The DPP is promising food security, provision of farm input subsidy program, as well as loans to both the women as well as the youth. So in order for the people of Rumphi Central to benefit from all these programs initiated by Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, we are asking them to vote and support the DPP candidate Walita Mkandawire in the forthcoming 17th March by-elections.
DPP candidate for the area Walita Moyo Mkandawire said he's ready to represent them come March 17 by-elections. George Mkandawire, NBC, Rumphi.
In sports, Southern Region Football Association has partnered microfinance company Finca to become their new Premier Division sponsors for 1 year. The deal is worth 100 million kwacha. Speaking during the unveiling ceremony at Imperial Village in Chiwembe, Finca Chief Commercial Officer Madaliso Jonazi said they decided to partner SFRA as football unites people from all walks of life, regardless of their differences.
We are very excited because we believe that the game of football brings people together, and also it creates a platform where people can sort of come together and enjoy the beautiful game, but also at the same time to share common ideas. So for us, I think getting into this partnership, we believe it's a good platform that will give us access to reach out to people who love football, but also the communities. As you are aware that these games are played in the communities in 8 districts in the southern region, which are communities where we operate from. So for us, I think this presents to us a great opportunity to reach out to those masses.
Southern Region Football Committee Chairperson Dallas Kachala said the partnership will change the face of football in the region.
Very excited that we finally have secured a very good sponsorship, partnering with a big brand, bringing in 100 million. It's not a joke. We are just too excited. Of course, it's a 1 year sponsorship, but from the background discussion, it's more than 1 year. This year is like a testing year, whereby they want to see how much we can contribute to their growth, how much they can contribute to our growth. So it will be like a win-win situation, whereby we are seeing each other. But I can assure you, it won't be a season. It will be a long-term partnership. We are in the time or the era of transformation. Even them, the thinker, in their film is also transforming their lives. Our intention is to make sure that our teams should benefit more from the sponsorship by going there, accessing the product. At the same time, it will be like the teams are growing financially.
In international news, Senegal's National Assembly has passed a bill doubling the maximum prison term for same-sex marriages to 10 years and criminalizing any efforts to promote homosexuality. The law fulfills a campaign promised by President Bassirou Diomaye Faye as it now awaits his signature. Telson Magombo with the report.
The law has been approved by 135 votes to none and is part of a broader trend against same-sex relationships. However, rights groups have raised concerns that the law could worsen discrimination and violence against sexual minorities, while some conservative activists argue it's necessary to protect Senegalese cultural and religious norms.
Here in our Africa, here in Senegal, we don't accept this homosexuality. That's not in our culture, that's not in our tradition.
Last year, Burkina Faso also passed a law criminalizing same-sex sexual relations for the first time, imposing prison terms of up to 5 years. Other countries such as Ghana and Niger have been proposing the same. Telson Magombo, MBC News.
Well, that item concludes this edition of MBC News. A reminder of our top stories before we leave. President Professor Peter Mutharika and the First Lady Professor Gertrude Mutharika are back in the country following a private visit they undertook to South Africa. Former MBC Director General set to appear in court today for allegations of financial mismanagement, among others. And in sports, Southern Region Football Association unveils 100 million kwacha Finca sponsorship. Keep up to date with our news coverage on our digital pages by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. You were with me, Ubile Kaisa. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.